Hello people, and welcome to another battle report of a quick battle match fought on the ladder a couple days ago. I was playing the Greenskins, and I have a pretty strange army here against the Forces of Chaos led by Sir Villano. If you look on the left side, you can see I have some Savage Orc Biggins there, and they're backed up by spiky rollers. So these things, they do armor piercing, or rather armor sundering, so they're going to help those Biggins punch through, well, what I expect to be tough chaos armor. You can see them there. They're also armor piercing and anti-infantry themselves. They'll cause some disruption, help those Biggins really mess things up. It's a combo I've been playing around with a little bit, mostly for fun, but I think it can actually be pretty potent, because Savage Biggins, they're very strong, and the only thing that tends to stop them is high armor. So if you can go and lower enemy armor and cause some disruption, that will benefit the Biggins as well. Yeah, I think you can roll enemy infantry pretty quickly. So the Rogue Idol, sort of the weirdest piece of my army there, very slow. Tends to just get killed by missiles, but Chaos tends to not have a lot of missiles, so I did bring him here. He's definitely one of the best looking models in the game. He'll be giving everyone 4 leadership, which, if it's across your entire army, is actually quite strong. Just look at him marching forward. The Swamp Things are also there, providing terror, and a -5 melee aura. They are, of course, going to regenerate and be quite difficult to kill unless there's any form of fire damage or just, overwhelming force that kills some models before they can regenerate. Frontline is just a mix of Orc Boys with a Black Orc in the center holding everything. Then the 8-peak Loonies in the back there. 8-peak Loonies, not a unit I would recommend bringing in every matchup anymore. But against Chaos, I think they can typically get their value. It's not that difficult to get with Spinning Loons off with them. I keep forgetting to use Spinning Loons at the start of the engagement though. Really flaw in my play I need to work on. So Azag is here. He's a buffing machine. He has Slaga Slashes. He has, I believe it's called Get On With It, giving +8 leadership, and of course on top of his, yes, Get On With It, and on top of that he has regular encouragement, so he gives about 20 leadership to units he's near, and that's very useful, especially for Savage Orcs, because they rely on Frenzy. Can keep their leadership up, they'll do more damage, and they won't rout to fear and terror. Or they won't get affected by it at all. Thanks to having Frenzy, of course. So Villano, interestingly enough, has 4 Marauder Horsemen. These guys tend to get outvalued really hard by Greenskin Missile Cavalry, but there is no Greenskin Missile Cavalry, so he's going to be able to kite a little bit here. I send out the big boss. You can see, smack. It's gonna take down, just one of those Marauder Horsemen, and then they're going to get out of there. That dude tumbles from his horse, collapses on the ground. Good job, big boss. Now you just have to do that 180 more times. So I only have the mangy Marauders, which is a bit of a problem. Nothing else can really reach them. You can kind of try to zone them with big boss. He doesn't take much damage from them. If he reaches them, he can kill one with every strike, as you saw there. So I am sending him out. But really, Villano is doing the right thing here, pulling back, not starting that engagement right away, because, if you have missile cavalry, you have to get their value before the fight starts if you're against a pretty much all melee army, like I am using here. Because you can't win the melee fight against the force that has just put everything into melee, right? If you haven't done that. Especially if it's Greenskins. He has some Chaos Knights with Lances. These guys are actually not bad. Just because there's no healing or a lot of other ways to support them, they tend to get, not picked too often. There's also alternatives to them. But stats-wise, they're actually not a bad unit. Azag and the big boss does manage to catch some of those horsemen there. But on the left flank, Villano going to send in Sartorial against my Savage Orcs. Magic damage, of course, will do pretty good against them. They also have a bit of anti-large, but infantry kind of has trouble fighting Sartorial, so I'm quickly going to send over the big boss and Azag. Try and stop him. He's going to see them coming and retreat. Also send in his horsemen again. Try and get some shots in. And he's targeting the savage orcs, which is a good target. Black orcs as well have taken a decent amount of damage. And here, this is bad. I charge in a lot of stuff after Sartorial. No idea why I did that. Too much value in one spot. And he cast Final Transmutation. And it's going to, yeah, just delete those units. I think Final Transmutation is not the greatest spell. But against a faction that has no Lore of Life or other form of healing, especially if, you know, there's a blob like that, it can definitely got a lot of value, and that's what we saw there. It was a big Winds of Magic investment, but it allowed him to start the fight and just take Azag down to 20%, take the big boss down to like 30% health, and yeah, kill those Savage Orc Biggins I was talking about earlier. The Chariot is also gone. He goes into the back of the Biggins. Azag comes back to restore that leadership, and you can see my right flank is coming in now. Swamp Things have taken a lot of damage. Azag takes another hit, but the big Rogue Idol comes in. Belly flop into the Chaos Army. He's going to try to stabilize that flank, which has crumbled pretty quickly due to the misplay earlier. Some dogs come in from the back. The Chaos Knights also took a beating, fighting up against those Savage Orcs. Now they're coming in and charging back out again. And you see the Chaos Marshmallows in there, the weird spawn. They're actually reducing the armor of the Rogue Idol. You can see it has already gone down to 90, which is, well, Plague of Rust is playing a part in that, but so are the Chaos Marshmallows. It's going to make it a lot easier to kill him. Normally he has 150 armor. Of course, his effective armor has already dropped a bit because he's lost some vigor. But, yeah. Officially, it's still there. And any armor reduction you can give on him is gonna make him that much easier to kill. Yeah, the Chaos Infantry is struggling a little bit now. There was a pretty good Spitting Loons at some point there. Another belly flop. I think it hits Sartorial. Yeah, Azag is really low. I have him around providing leadership for the trolls mostly. Also for other units. But yeah, he is super low, and I feel like he has to engage now and then. But one mistake and he's dead. Of course, an advantage as well is that because he's giving so much leadership, he's also buffing his own leadership. See the Swamp Things just get out of there. They have like a sliver of health between the 7 models that are left, so it's normal. Delano tries to target Azag. Good play again. He has to retreat, which allows those Orc boys to be terrified. Spinning Loons does rattle through the Mirror Guard, and the Rogue Idol is just happily slapping away. Remaining Javelins are targeting Azag. And as I was saying, he manages to keep up his own leadership as well, thanks to those items he has. Soul Blight comes down. Figure throw everything at that blob, because that's the decisive fight. Right now, I try to bring Azag in closer, because in addition to giving leadership, he of course also gives a bit of melee attack with his aura. He is quite the buffing machine. Just a little bit squishy and not the greatest fighter, but he has massive mobility, so I think he still has I think he still has his place in the meta. Just need to play a certain way, and if I'm being honest, like the gold standard is probably Grom, Death Hag, Big Boss. But that doesn't mean other Greenskin Lords are bad. Azag here is definitely doing a good job. It was just me who lost way too many hit points on him earlier. But if he didn't take so much damage, he could potentially go after Sartorial, especially if Sarti engages. Now look at the Black Orcs, they're actually wavering. Where is Azag? He's coming back. And the Black Orcs are close to routing. A Spirit Leech comes down. And the Weird Spawn, those guys really have to get out of there. They're reducing the armor of all of my units. Making it so much easier for Chaos to kill them. I'm doing the same with Soul Blight, also reducing the damage that I am taking. And yeah, I want to keep Azag close. You can see the leadership of the Black Orcs just going up by quite a bit as he comes close there. But how little health they have left, it's actually almost a miracle that they're still in there fighting, but Black Orcs don't mess around. As far as greenskins go, they're definitely very brave. So Azak does pull out of there because, well, another final transmutation comes in, and yeah, if Azak dies, I think it's pretty much over. I would lose too much leadership. In addition to losing all the leadership that he is providing with his auras, which is really needed right now. So speaking of leadership, the Chaos Forces are actually getting out of there. Just routing away. And Sartorial is also running. Maybe saving up for another spell. Over here, Weird Spawn are still fighting. Those guys are, of course, unbreakable. And I'm not sure if I can call them guys. I don't really know what they are. I mean, they're Chaos Spawn, but I'm not sure like what name would be fitting for them. And I doubt they would give you an answer if you asked them. But you can see the Rogue Idol has actually dropped pretty low. And these things, the lower they go, the lower their armor becomes. It's not like you have to fight 150 armor for the entire game. The bonus though they get is actually higher weapon strength. You can see that bad boy is up to 960 weapon strength, which is probably overkill against anything he hits, but he does decent splash damage. Actually does very good splash damage, so it might still be useful. Does another belly flop, maybe gets one horseman there, I'm not sure. But those guys were wise to get out of there. Swamp Things have rallied in the back, are now coming back and still regenerating. They will be quite useful. The Terror and Fear doesn't really matter at this point, because they all cost Terror and Fear, all the units I've left. But the Aura could be quite useful, so I sent them in, I tried to reunite them with Rogue Idol. And you can see the balance of power is still in Chaos's favor. It mostly came down to just that horrible final transmutation at the start there. Belly flop. I think the Rogue Idol catches Sartorial a little bit there with his splash attack. This Horseman wanted to charge the back of the Rogue Idol, but decided to get out of there. And Azak, yeah, I'm kind of keeping him above that high elf structure. Just providing that leadership, mostly for the trolls. Big Papa Rogue Idol is still doing fine in terms of leadership. You know, just stomping his feet, clapping his hands, and yeah, just smashing fools left, right, and center. I think he might be going on a little bit of a rampage here as well. No, not yet. He has Plague of Rust on him. Luckily, the Chaos Forces rout as it is cast, because this is actually something you won't see often. A Rogue Idol who's down to 0 armor. Can you believe it? Just soft rock at that point. He's going to do another belly flop, I think. Yes, I love that animation. Yeah, Chaos still has some forces left. You can see them regrouping there in the background. But the thing is, none of them are particularly good at taking out this Rogue Idol. So Villano wisely focuses on the Swamp Things there, but that was a huge attack on Sartorial. You could see his health, well, whatever health he had left, just got cut in half there. I don't really want to send in Azak right now. You can see how the balance of power has shifted. I don't think I need to take the risk. And I don't want to take the risk either, because imagine one hit on Azak, all the leadership goes away, leadership penalty comes in. Even a Rogue Idol could potentially fall to that. Rogue Idol now on a rampage. Yes, 1140 weapon strength. Just look at him go. Stomps those horsemen again. Goes after the Weird Spawn. There's still one model left on them, I think. Rogue Idol is at 2.6k health, actually closer to 2.7, which is low for him, but still quite a bit of health on a unit like that. And his animations are also just really good. If you ever find the time, try testing him 1v1 against questing knights or something. It's quite insane how much damage that belly flop animation does. I mean, of course, you know, huge rock monster falling on you is going to do a lot of damage, but it does more damage than you would expect. Because the Rogue Idol has this reputation for being a bad unit just because it's slow. That doesn't mean it's not good at fighting. It's actually really good at fighting if it can get into the right position. I agree that it's not the greatest unit, but Yeah, you can see him actually getting hit in the back there by Sartorial. He's down to 300 health. One more hit from Sartorial and he's gone. And then it's just going to be the duel of the ages, Azak versus Sartorial. But Azak, like a true greenskin, doesn't wait. Comes in, a right hook, destroys Sartorial, and that's that. Yeah, so pretty tough fight there. All came down to big mistake at the beginning there from me. Units didn't get that much value, but the spinning loons really came to the rescue. That helped a lot. Clear that Chaos Infantry, especially the Chosen, who are infantry that can definitely go toe-to-toe with Greenskin Infantry, which not a lot of infantry in the game can say, to be honest. So yeah, Rogue Idol definitely the MVP of that battle, just insane. And the big uns, just very good infantry. I didn't use them well. See, that thing didn't get much damage done at all, but they still did, you know, what they were supposed to do. Mangy Marauders kind of got outnumbered and killed by the Horsemen, unfortunately. And yeah, the Swamp Things, they were quite good. They didn't get their value totally, but they soaked a lot of damage as well. So I think they did a good job. And of course they provided that aura, which doesn't get counted in the damage value. Yeah, with that, thank you for watching. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.